The sky was dark and the clouds were heavy. Rain had started to fall, slow at first, then faster. Sam pulled his school bag tighter over his shoulder and walked faster down the old sidewalk. His shoes were thin, his socks were wet, his stomach growled, but he ignored it. He had only one coin left in his pocket. It was a small coin, but it meant something big. It was his bus fare for tomorrow. Without it, he would have to walk more than 6 kilometers to school again. Sam didn't complain. He was used to hard days. His mother worked 2 jobs and still barely paid rent. They had no car, no internet, no extras, just survival. As he walked past the bus station, Sam noticed something strange. A man sat near the gate under the broken roof. His clothes were torn, his face was tired, his hands were shaking in the cold. The man looked up at Sam with tired eyes. "Son," he whispered, "I just need to get home. Just 1 coin for the bus, please." Sam stopped. He looked at the man, then he looked at the coin in his hand. His heart beat faster. If he gave the coin, he would have to walk tomorrow, maybe be late, maybe get in trouble again. But if he didn't, this man might sleep on the street. Sam didn't say a word. He walked over and placed the coin gently into the man's hand. The man looked at it, then looked at Sam. For a moment, their eyes met. The man gave a soft, strange smile. Almost like he knew something. "Thank you," the man said. "You've done more than you think." Then he stood up and walked away into the rain. No umbrella, no bag, just his wet shoes clicking on the road. Sam stood there for a moment, confused. He looked down the street again. The man had vanished. Sam reached home, soaked and tired. Their small apartment smelled of wet clothes and cooking oil. His mother was asleep on the couch, still wearing her work uniform. He put a blanket over her and went to his room. The rain hit the windows like soft fingers. He changed clothes and sat on the bed. He couldn't stop thinking about the man, that strange look in his eyes, that weird smile, and his words. "You've done more than you think." That night, Sam had trouble sleeping. Around 1 a.m., he heard something strange outside. A car. No, not just any car. A big one. He peeked through the window. There, under the streetlight, was a black luxury car. Quiet, sleek, shiny. Sam blinked. No one in this neighborhood had a car like that. He waited, watching. After a few minutes, the car drove away. He thought it was over. But the next night, it came back. This time, it stayed longer. No one got out, no one knocked, just silence. Sam told his mother, but she said it was probably someone lost. But Sam didn't believe that. Not deep in his gut. On the 3rd night, something even stranger happened. Sam was returning from the store with a loaf of bread. As he turned the corner, he saw the same black car again. This time, the window rolled down, just a little, enough for Sam to see a shadow inside. A man's voice spoke. Calm and deep, "You gave when you had nothing. Most people don't. That's rare." Sam froze. "Who are you?" he asked, voice shaking. The window rolled up again. The car drove off. Sam stood there in the middle of the street, holding the bread tightly. His heart was pounding. Later that night, Sam couldn't stop shaking. He sat on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He had just tried to help a poor man. Now, a mysterious car was watching him. What was happening? Was he being followed? Was he in danger? Or was this something else? He didn't know. But one thing was sure, that one small coin had started something big, and Sam's life was never going to be the same again. The next morning, Sam couldn't concentrate at school. His mind kept going back to that black car, the shadowy man inside, and those strange words. "You gave when you had nothing. Most people don't." Who was that man? How did he know about the coin? And why was he watching Sam? Sam barely touched his lunch. When his best friend Liam asked what was wrong, Sam just shrugged and said he was tired. But the truth was, he was scared and confused. That evening, as the sun began to set, Sam sat by the window of their small apartment. He kept checking the street. Hours passed. Nothing. But just after 9 p.m., his heart skipped a beat. There it was again. The same black car. It pulled up slowly, quietly, right in front of Sam's house. Sam turned off the light and peeked through the curtain. The engine was still running, but no one got out. The window stayed up, just like the night before. It waited. Sam's fingers trembled as he pulled his phone from his pocket. He thought about calling the police, but what would he even say? A fancy car is parked outside my house. No one would take that seriously. So instead he watched. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Finally, the car slowly pulled away and disappeared into the night. The next morning, Sam tried to act normal. He made breakfast for his mom, who looked tired from her night shift. "Mom," he said slowly, "did you see that car again last night?" She shook her head, yawning. "No, honey. Maybe someone's just lost. Or maybe they're watching someone else." Sam forced a smile. But deep down, he knew this was not random. Something was happening. Something connected to that moment outside the station. Later that day, as Sam was walking home from school, it happened again. He took the shortcut behind the library, and the car was waiting at the corner. This time the window slowly rolled down, halfway. Sam froze. His breath caught in his throat. Inside, he could barely see the man's face, but he recognized the voice instantly. Calm, deep, mysterious. "You've been very brave, Sam, but it's time we talk." Sam blinked. "How do you know my name?" The man didn't answer the question. Instead, he reached out and dropped something onto the sidewalk. A small, clean envelope. "Take this. No tricks, no lies, just the truth." Then the window rolled up, and the car drove off. Sam stood there, staring at the envelope. He bent down slowly and picked it up. His hands were shaking again. The envelope had no name, no address, just one line written in neat black ink. "Open only when you're ready." Sam shoved it into his backpack and ran the rest of the way home. That night, he sat on his bed staring at the envelope under the lamp. His mother was already asleep. He took a deep breath and opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper, typed. "Clean, direct. We have been watching you, not to scare you, but to protect you. 3 days ago, you passed a test. You helped someone without asking for anything in return. You showed something rare. And now, a door is opening for you. If you want answers, meet me tomorrow, 6 p.m., at the old train station bench, alone. No name, no signature. Just that. Sam's." Hands were cold. His heart was beating fast. A door is opening, what did that mean? And what test had he passed? He didn't sleep much that night. He kept looking at the clock over and over. He didn't know if he was being followed by a kind man, a spy or something else entirely, but part of him, deep inside, wanted to know the truth. He couldn't ignore it. The coin, the man, the car, the letter. It all meant something. Something bigger than he ever imagined. And tomorrow, at 6 p.m., he would find out. The next day felt longer than ever. Sam sat in his classes, barely hearing anything the teachers said. His thoughts kept returning to the envelope, the message, and the meeting at 6 p.m. He looked at the clock again and again. His heart beat faster as the hours passed. When the final bell rang, Sam rushed home, pretending everything was normal. His mother was getting ready for her evening shift. "I might go to the library later," Sam said, trying to sound casual. She smiled, kissed his forehead, and said, "Be careful, sweetheart." He nodded, grabbed his backpack, and left, heart pounding. But he wasn't going to the library. He was going to the old train station. The streets were quiet as the sun began to set. By the time Sam reached the station, it was almost empty. The place hadn't been used in years. Rusted rails, cracked benches, broken signs. But someone was already there, parked near the edge of the lot, and sitting on the bench under the old shelter was the man. The same man Sam had helped outside. The bus station, the homeless man. But he didn't look homeless anymore. Now he wore a clean black coat, expensive shoes, and a calm expression. He smiled as Sam walked closer. "You came," the man said. Sam stood still. "I want answers," the B nodded. "And you'll get them. Sit." Sam slowly sat on the bench, one space away from him. "I'm not here to hurt you, Sam," the man said. "I owe you more than you know." Sam frowned. "Why me? Why all this? Who are you?" The man took a deep breath. "My name is Daniel," he said. 2 weeks ago I was testing people, looking for someone with real kindness, not the kind that's loud, the quiet kind, the kind that gives, even when it has nothing. Sam was quiet. "That day at the station," Daniel continued, "I didn't really need the coin. I wanted to see who would stop, who would care. I waited all day. Hundreds walked by. Some laughed. Some ignored me. Some gave me dirty looks." He turned to Sam. "But you gave me your last coin. You didn't ask for anything, not even a thank you." Sam's voice was small. "I just felt it was right." Daniel smiled gently. "And that, Sam, is why you're here." Sam's mind spun with questions. "Are you rich or something? Was it all a trick?" Daniel chuckled. "Not a trick, a choice. I used to be poor, very poor, until someone helped me. One man, one moment. He didn't ask for anything either. That moment changed my life." He looked off into the distance. "So I promised myself I'd do the same. I'd find someone like me, and I'd give them what I was once given." Sam looked at him carefully. "What do you mean?" "Give me what?" Daniel reached into his coat and pulled out a sealed black envelope. He held it out. "This is yours, Sam. Inside is something that can change your life, but only if you want it." Sam didn't move. "What is it?" Daniel's eyes were serious. "A key to your future." Sam slowly took the envelope. It was heavier than it looked. "Why?" "Me?" he whispered again. Daniel stood up. "Because you gave when you didn't have to. That's the rarest kind of person in this world." He paused, then added, "Go home. Open it when you're alone. And remember, this is not just a gift. It's a challenge. What you do next will define who you become." He gave Sam one final nod, then walked to the black car. The door opened. He got in. The car pulled away and vanished into the night. Sam stood at the station alone, the envelope in his hands. The wind picked up. The sky darkened. He didn't know what was inside. He didn't know what would happen next, but deep inside, something told him. His life was no longer the same, and everything was about to change. Sam ran home that evening, his heart racing. He clutched the black envelope tightly, as if it might fly away with the wind. Inside, he knew, was something important, something that could change his life. But he was also scared. What if it was too much? What if this was all some strange trick? He opened the front door quietly. His mother wasn't home yet. The apartment was dark and silent, just like his thoughts. He locked the door, sat at the table, and placed the envelope in front of him. His hands trembled as he opened it. Inside were two things: a letter, a check. First, he read the letter. "Dear Sam, you have been chosen for something rare. This check is not a reward, it is a beginning. Use it not just to help yourself, but to grow, to learn, and to become the man I believe you can be." There are 2 more envelopes. One will come in 30 days, the second after 90. But only if you prove you're ready. There is no test, no rule book. Just your heart, let it guide you. I will be watching. Daniel. Sam stared at the check. His eyes widened. It was for $50,000. He blinked. Was this real? He touched the paper, felt its weight. It wasn't fake. His name was on it. $50,000. He whispered, stunned. His chest felt tight. He had never even seen that much money. Their family could barely pay rent some months. His first thought was to run and show his mom. But something stopped him. The letter had said, "Only if you prove you're ready." What did that mean? He looked out the window. The streetlights flickered. What was he supposed to do now? That night he barely slept. His mind kept spinning. He thought of all the things he could do, help his mom quit her night job. fix the broken heater in their apartment, buy new clothes and shoes, save for college. But the letter also talked about growing, about becoming someone better, someone Daniel believed in. Sam sat up in bed. He didn't want to just spend the money. He wanted to prove he deserved it. The next day, Sam did something he never did before. After school, he went to the local community center and asked if they needed volunteers. The woman at the front desk looked surprised. Most kids your age don't ask that. I just want to help, Sam said. She smiled. We could use help with the kids' reading group. Can you come tomorrow? He nodded. That evening, he told his mom he was going to the center to help kids after school. She looked proud. You've always had a big heart, she said, kissing his head. Over the next week, Sam began to change. He used some of the money from the check, but only a little. He bought a used laptop for school, a jacket for winter, and new shoes for his mom. But the rest he left untouched. He helped at the center every afternoon. He taught kids how to read simple books. He cleaned tables. He stayed late when no one else did. People started noticing. One day, the woman at the desk pulled him aside. Sam, why are you doing all this? She asked. He smiled quietly. Because someone once helped me, and I want to do the same. But even as he helped others, Sam wondered, was Daniel really watching? One night, as he walked home from the center, he passed the old bakery. It was closed for years, but now the lights were on. A small sign hung in the window. Grand opening soon, the giving oven. He looked through the glass and saw Daniel, wearing an apron, smiling at someone inside. Daniel looked up, and their eyes met for a second. He nodded, just once, then went back to work. A full week passed since Sam received the envelope. His life had already started to shift. He was more focused, more hopeful, and yet, something inside him stayed alert, waiting. Daniel had said there would be no test, but Sam knew something would come, something that would show who he really was. That test came sooner than he expected. It was a Thursday afternoon. Sam was leaving the community center when he noticed a boy standing outside. The boy looked cold and nervous, holding a torn backpack. Sam had seen him once before. His name was Ricky, a kid from his school. Quiet, always sitting alone. Hey, Sam said, walking over. You okay? Ricky looked up, startled. I missed the bus, Sam nodded. Where do you live? East Side, near the old scrapyard. That was a long walk, Sam remembered. He had just enough money for one bus fare. He could ride home, warm and dry, but if he gave it to Ricky, he'd have to walk all the way. In the cold, alone. He looked at the coin in his pocket. The wind blew, sharply stinging his face. Sam glanced at the sky, dark clouds. Rain was coming. He looked at Ricky again. His shoes were falling apart. His sweater had holes. It wasn't a hard choice. Sam took the coin out and handed it over. Here, go catch the next bus. Ricky blinked. Are you serious? Sam smiled. You helped me once with homework. Call it payback. Ricky smiled, whispered a thank you, and ran toward the stop. Sam started walking. The wind picked up, and soon the rain followed. Cold drops soaked through his clothes. Cars rushed by, splashing water, but no one stopped. His legs hurt. His hands were numb, but inside, he felt warm, like he had passed something invisible. That night, Sam sat in his room, drying off. He didn't tell his mom what happened. She already had enough to worry about. He opened his notebook, ready to study. Then, a knock, a soft one. He opened the door slowly. And there, on the floor, was a small white box. No name. No note. He picked it up, heart pounding. Inside was a small metal key, and beneath it a folded note. Well done, you didn't wait for the right moment. You created it. This key opens a door only meant for the brave. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., follow the path to the place where kindness first began. You'll understand when you arrive. Sam read the note again and again. His hands trembled. A door, a place, a path. he thought back. To the day it all started. The bus station. That's where he gave his only coin to a stranger who didn't look like anyone important. That's where his journey began. The next day, Sam stood at the same spot, outside the bus station. It was quiet. He held the small silver key in his pocket. He looked around. Then he noticed something. Behind the station where people never went was an old gate, rusted, chained. But now, slightly open. He stepped through it. A narrow path stretched beyond. Grass had grown over the trail. Trees lined the way. Sam walked slowly, the world going quiet around him. After 10 minutes, he reached a small cabin, wooden, peaceful, hidden from the world. He used the key. The door creaked open. Inside were shelves of books, a desk, a fireplace, and Daniel. Waiting? He stood, smiling gently. "You passed the first test," he said. Sam took a deep breath. "What is this place?" Daniel gestured to the room. "This is where it all began for me. Years ago I lived here. I was lost, hungry, cold. Until someone offered me help with no reason to. No cameras, no applause, just heart." He placed a hand on Sam's shoulder. "I see that heart in you." Sam looked around, overwhelmed. "But I'm just a kid," Daniel nodded. "Exactly why you can become more than most adults ever do." He handed Sam another envelope, this time red. "It's time for your second challenge," he said. Sam took the envelope and looked at Daniel. "Will it be harder?" Daniel's eyes were serious. "Yes, because it's not about what you have. It's about what you're willing to lose." Sam nodded slowly. He didn't know what waited in the red envelope, but he was ready to find out. Sam sat in his room, staring at the red envelope. It had been a full day since Daniel gave it to him, but he still hadn't opened it. The color made him nervous. Red meant danger, warning, a serious test, but deep down, he knew. This was the moment that would decide everything. He slowly tore the flap and took out the card. Only a few words were written inside. "You must choose to give up something you love, not to prove yourself to others, but to prove yourself to your own heart. You have 48 hours, don't wait too long." Sam read the message again and again. "Give up something you love?" He leaned back, his mind spinning. He looked around his small room. Not much there. Just a few. Books, his school bag, and the used laptop he bought from the first check. That laptop helped him with homework. It made school easier. It connected him to the world. He touched it gently. Was this the thing? Or maybe it was his new shoes. The only pair that didn't hurt his feet. Or maybe it was his time, the hours he gave to the community center every day. That night, Sam didn't sleep much. He thought about all the little things he now had. Things most kids took for granted. But what did he love the most? What was the one thing he had truly started to care about? The next day, Sam walked slowly toward the community center. He walked past the bakery. Daniel wasn't there this time. Inside the center, the kids ran up to him. Sam, can you help me read this one? Will you play with us today?" Sam smiled and sat with them. But his heart was heavy. Later, after the kids went home, Sam stayed back with Miss Elena, the woman who ran the place. "Sam, are you okay?" she asked. He nodded slowly, then looked at her. "Can I talk to you about something important?" "Of course." Sam explained everything, from the homeless man to the envelope to Daniel, and now, this challenge. Miss Elena listened quietly, never interrupting. When he finished, she asked, "What do you love most, Sam?" He looked down, then whispered, "These kids, helping them. I love being here." She smiled softly. "Then your answer is already inside you." The next day, Sam made his choice. He walked to the counter and handed Miss Elena a folded paper. She opened it. Her eyes widened. It was a donation form. "I want to give my laptop," Sam said. "The kids here, they don't have many. Maybe they can share it for school or games. It might help them more than it helps me." Miss Elena looked at him, shocked. "Sam, That's the only thing you really own, he nodded. I know. Sam walked home feeling both heavy and light. That laptop was a big part of his life, but he didn't regret it. He had found something bigger than money or comfort. He had found purpose. That night, something strange happened. As Sam entered his building, he saw a black car parked outside. Sleek, shiny, expensive. A man in a suit stood next to it. Sam Turner? The man asked. Yes. The man opened the back door. Inside sat Daniel. He waved Sam in with a smile. Sam sat quietly, unsure. Daniel handed him a new envelope. This one gold. You did well, he said. This wasn't about giving things away, it was about letting go of comfort, fear, and selfishness. And you did. Sam opened the gold envelope. Inside was a plane ticket and a card that read, You've been accepted into the Winter Heart program, a place where the world's future leaders are made, because true leaders begin with kindness. Sam's jaw dropped. Is this real? He asked. Daniel nodded. You earned it. All of it. As the car drove off into the night, Sam looked out the window. He remembered the coin he once gave to a cold, homeless man. He smiled softly. The plane took off at sunset. Sam sat by the window, heart pounding, eyes wide with wonder. He had never been on a plane before. He clutched the gold envelope in his hand and looked around at the other few passengers. Only teenagers, all alone, like him. Each one of them had a quiet look, like they had seen something, done something important, like they had also passed a test. Sam whispered to himself, Why me? When the plane landed, a black car picked him up again. It drove through quiet hills, then into a valley covered in trees and mist. There, hidden between the mountains, was a place that looked like a dream. The Winter Heart Academy, a tall building with old stone walls and golden light glowing from every window. As Sam stepped out, he felt something deep and powerful, a sense that this place would change everything. Inside, he met a woman named Clara who smiled warmly. We've been expecting you, Sam. She gave him a room with a bed softer than clouds and a view of a silent lake below. But Sam couldn't sleep. He had questions, and they wouldn't leave him alone. Why him? What was this place, really? And who was Daniel? The next morning, Clara took him to the main hall. There, under a golden dome, sat 10 people in black suits, men and women with wise eyes and quiet power. In the center was Daniel. He stood and faced Sam. Welcome, Sam, he said. You may think your journey ends here, but actually, this is where your real life begins. Sam swallowed hard. Why me? I'm not rich, I'm not special. Daniel walked closer, his voice calm. That's where you're wrong. You're the most special kind of person because you didn't wait to be rich, powerful, or perfect before doing what was right. He held up a file. Sam's name was on it. We watched you, Daniel said. Not just once, from the moment you shared food with another student, from the time you stood up for a younger kid, from when you gave away your only bus fare. Sam's eyes widened. You were watching. Me, Daniel nodded. Not just you, hundreds, but very few pass all 3 tests: kindness, sacrifice, and truth. The room went silent. Daniel turned to the others and said, Today, Sam becomes one of us, a Winter Heart scholar, a future builder, a guardian of change. Everyone clapped softly. Sam didn't know what to say. Tears welled up in his eyes. Not from sadness, but from finally understanding something big. You don't have to be powerful to make a difference. You just have to care, deeply, truly, and quietly. Weeks passed. Sam trained every day, learning about the world, leadership, technology, people. He met others like him, from different countries, poor backgrounds, even orphaned. Each one had a story that started with a simple act of kindness. Together, they were being prepared for something greater than themselves. But Sam still had one final question. One night, under the stars, he found Daniel alone on the balcony. Can I ask you something? Sam said. Of course. Who helped you when you were cold and alone? Daniel smiled, eyes looking far away. It was a poor boy. Years ago, he gave me his only sandwich. No name, no reward, just kindness. What happened to him? Sam asked. Daniel looked at Sam with a small smile. He never knew what he started, but because of him, everything changed. Sam looked up at the sky. So many stars, so many stories. He finally understood. The story had never been about receiving help. It was about giving it, and trusting that one day it would return. Not in money, but in meaning. He whispered quietly to himself, "This was never about luck. It was always about love."